is it did like shut off at 2:30 to 3. Like, I mean, there were people like, what's going on? You know, October, but they started coming up to me because I was the only one left out on the road doing anything. And all those music groups all like played at noon into 2 or 3, and nothing seemed to be going on after that. And I think that's I think almost starting it just a hair later and running it a hair later. You know, get it to closer to dinner time. And that weekend also there was a million other things going on. I mean, a million other things in St. Louis. It was a parade or
well, you've got families and Saturdays for athletic events and commitments to school or children. To me, the Sunday is the day that's usually more wide open and people have flexibility to do something that they enjoy like this.
Well, and yes and no, because volleyball's on Sundays. So that, any boy or girl that's playing volleyball, those are on Sundays, not Saturdays. So that can take a lot of that away, but we do have it on the table to discuss moving to the first weekend of October next year.
Earlier.
Yes,
I think it'd be better.
that's the 3rd.
I mean, it's not just, and it's horrible, but it seems like that happens with Jazz Festival, Green Tree Festival, they're the same freaking weekend, Balloon Fest. You're like, well, they're all the same weekend, you know? It's like,
In the fall is the best time.
right, and Jazz Festival's at night, so it doesn't really for the Jazz Festival, but everything is.
But also that third weekend in September historically has always been the weekend you can count on.
Meteorologically, it's the driest weekend of the year.
Really?
That's what a meteorologist told us. Just
The
data.
Farmer's Almanac said.
Basically, the Farmer's Almanac, that is the driest weekend of the year.
We
It's gonna rain the weekend next year.
family golf tournament for a cousin that passed away 3rd weekend of September that we had for 25 years up in Chicago. And my cousin, his brother always wanted to move it one weekend back. But my cousin passed away, his friend said we can't because after the 3rd weekend in September, weather goes to shit. And so once I was told this, or I heard this, I started watching the next weekend after the golf tournament. I mean, half the weekends it would snow the next weekend and we would have 75-degree weather in Chicago in this golf tournament. I mean, so there is something there. I mean, I've witnessed it from Chicago's point of view, so that doesn't surprise me to hear that.
It's data driven historically.
Yeah.
That isn't why we picked it. We just found that out after we picked that
But
weekend.
once we picked it, we weren't gonna change.
Right.
And the truth is, rain has affected us maybe two times out of 20 years.
Hi, Stacey.
Hi,
So Oktoberfest update.
yeah. I wasn't at the trade meeting. It was really good for me, and I know it was really good for a large group of businesses.
There wasn't much room in the trade meeting. They were
Yeah.
packed.
Yeah, that's what I
There were
heard.
3 of us.
Yeah, well, it's because it was coming off a busy weekend,
I
That's
guess,
why.
I guess.
100%.
I mean, literally, there are like 3 people out there. Fran,
Yeah.
It was-
7 people total. I think.
Yeah,
yeah, including
Yeah.
Row.
that's what I heard.
So
It was
generally good feedback.
Yeah, I mean, from the businesses I spoke to, I guess the ones that showed up at the trade, it wasn't the best.
Well,
But-
some said exactly what Ron said, that it seemed a little lighter on Saturday, crowd wise. But I've talked to other people that disagree with that
Oh, yeah.
completely. The one thing that they said, I heard from other people too, is that you could walk down the street and it was a perfect blend of music that nobody was on top of each other.
And I'll say for story 7, it was one of our best days of the year. We were packed both days. It was great.
Yay.
Yay.
Bill, did you sell any insurance at Oktoberfest?
No, I saw Ron. I said hi to Ron.
Yeah, I saw Bill.
We should change that date that everybody talked.
I do think,
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I do think if you could put a band or
Makes a lot of
something,
sense.
To change it
something
or-
down by Ron no one gets down to that area of the district really.
This year, you just wait.
Next
These
year.
are
A little loud, probably.
gonna be like, oh my gosh, if you turn down your music.
And Bill, that's my responsibility to have a band out there, you know, I just decided, we just. Sample
that
beer,
too.
that's what we do,
Yeah.
but it just didn't seem to draw people. I mean, O&O Pizza was packed, you know,
Mhm.
or Clover, whichever one you wanna call it at that time of day, but yeah, they had a band, they had a guy out there playing, it was awesome that I could hear, it was good, but you know, it was like at 2:00, he closed up, and it's like, everybody's like, you know, just kind of.
Mhm.
So we were talking to Stacy about maybe possibly starting it just a hair later in the day and then moving it a little bit later towards night and. I don't
That's
know.
a great idea.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyways, okay. Any other feedback, Oktoberfest? Rooftop lighting update?
So that's me. So Maury's building, Maury has been contacted and Brad at Red Lamore has been contacted and the ownership group of David Smith's building.
Okay.
And they all three have been contacted. I've heard nothing back. So my usual, as I follow up after this meeting with, another one, but I haven't heard anything from them to say, yep, bring them in to estimate a cost. So,
Okay.
so that's where we're at in terms of
Was
the.
Maury interested?
Maury was interested when I talked to him 6 months ago,
Right.
and now he has not said anything. So I don't know if he's talking to Chase to see if they
Right,
have any issues or.
yeah, they have that whole thing lit up.
So, and I haven't pushed on any one of them. I haven't been like, knocking at their door. I've just been,
Right.
but if we're going to do it, within this budget year, we'll want to at least get estimates and, if the cold weather month can be an installation possibility, so we'll see, but get the estimate so you know what you're looking at. So. This is not rooftop, but just on tree real quick. I just wanted to highlight, we did have a question come in about potential adding a tree.
Mhm.
So I wanted to just pull this up on the screen so you all can see it. This is the tracks. And here is San Jose. And this is the tree in question that we were talking about. We can easily light that tree with the strings and bulbs we have here at the city now. We'd have to look at power. The power on the building here may be switched. So meaning that San Jose may turn on or off their power. We don't know. We didn't send Public Works in to look at, their power and such. So.
They already have lights all out there already. I mean, I'm saying not in the tree, but they have power somewhere because they're lit up if you eat out there.
It's plugged into that outlet right by the door. If you can zoom in, there's an outlet. There it is, the gray, lower than that. Yeah, there it is. That
Down there.
Yeah, you can see that gray outlet
That's
right
not-
there.
That's not good.
Well, it's all approved for outdoor lighting, I'm sure. It's got a cover on it. But it's manual. So, I mean, it's just plugged in and it does have a timer. There's like a 4-hour timer on it. But that's not what you'd want for the tree light. There is, if you zoom in, there are outlets up top, but they appear to be in line with, go down further to the west. You can see those lights up there. There's actually conduit that runs along the building and there's an outlet at the very end of it.
Yeah, and there's
Don't
outdoor
notice.
lighting.
No. Oh, that is your building? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're talking to the right
Okay,
guy.
okay. Okay, that's why.
I gotta tell you, since Dan started out in this group, I now notice everything in Old Webster, like, all that mail belongs to that.
Who
I'm down for lighting a tree. The more
Sure.
tree lights, the better.
reflected it?
Dan and Bill brought it up to me that this.
Oh,
So
okay.
we've looked at it and said we can do it. I think the issue is, if I understand correctly, Dan, and Dan would know better. We have run the other trees that we've lit all night, dusk to dawn, right? So power's always on, and that the power source here may be a switched one that San Jose shuts off at some point, when they close, and so there would be hours that it doesn't run. So we can install other power, we can do that, if you want to do that. So that's why I'm bringing it up, do you want to light this tree, and B, do you want us to make sure you have power like the other trees dusk to dawn lighting?
Yes.
If we do one tree at a time, however we do it, let's get the trees lit.
That's, I mean, it's.
I
you
know,
gotta
I know,
take
I know it's not gonna happen, but any tree,
It's so dark in our district
Yeah,
at night,
yeah.
especially down by the old Reliable Life building too, so. I mean, I
And yeah, and it's
understand.
super dark over by Phil's building.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like,
It's so bad. We
Mhm.
gotta start somewhere. We gotta start lighting these trees up. Or get more
But
streets.
sounds like we want to do it and then just have Public Works assemble the lights in the tree and or test the outlet to make sure it works. And then if Stripe needs to get out there, then obviously you have the go-to to have Stripe change it out to dusk to dawn outlet.
So while we're on this, can we also request some quotes for some other buildings? I know
Or
like,
he already mentioned that. We got 3 buildings he's looking at.
which buildings?
The 3 buildings are, well, I'll just spin around here. Let me get off the street view. Red Lemore, Maury's, where did I do? Sorry. Red Lemore, Maury's building, the Chase Bank building, and then the building down by Parkmore.
Can we also request the one that Webster Kirkwood Times is into?
You all tell me which buildings you want to put on.
Are they not already lit?
I think they're already lit.
Those trees are lit right there?
No,
no, not the
already-
trees, talking about buildings.
Oh, I'm talking about.
You're talking about the
Yeah,
trees on one.
I thought we were talking about trees.
Go
So,
over there, check it out, see if there's
It's
an
so
outlet.
dark on that strip.
Walk in,
There's a
talk
nice
to
big
the
tree.
owner, see if the owner wants to pay for the electric. A lot of this is low hanging fruit. So if you want to go over to Webster Kirkwood and go in and talk to the owner of the building and then figure out where an outlet is. But we're right now, we're trying to take care of the easiest stuff. So we don't want to add more to our plate until we get the littler stuff done. So yes, I think that's a great
Well,
spot.
I have to ask, I have to find out what it is before I call the Ortels and be like, this is how much it's gonna cost to light that
It's the
tree.
power.
It's just
It's
power.
We pay for it all.
We'll pay for
We pay,
the,
we'll pay for the lights and the installation. It's just, they provide power, so.
And it's
One tree.
neon, it's LED lights, so it's not very much.
Yeah, the tree belongs to the
US Bank.
US Bank.
It has
So
to
then
be
we have to get
powered
it-
by
you
Greg's building, but it's not owned by Greg.
which tree are we talking about?
The one by, right next to the
Right at the
Webster
parking
Kirkwood
lot.
Times.
I'm not talking about the parking lot, I'm talking about the one that's across, like actually out in front.
By the mailboxes.
Isn't there like a tree by Embroider the Occasion?
That would be on the
That's
front,
down
yeah.
by. are you talking
It's all the
about
same
down
building.
Yes, it is.
That's what I'm talking about, that tree right there.
Well, we thought you were talking about the big one.
Oh, no, that tree is dropping branches left and
So
right.
you're talking about
That, that one,
this one right here?
yeah.
This is a. winter
Both of
picture,
those
obviously.
really are in front of their building.
Not the big one. You weren't talking about that one.
No,
there.
that tree is dropping branches.
So I guess my take on those 2 trees, not to disagree, but I'd rather see a bigger tree with, a little bit,
I have to say,
Yeah,
it's gonna
brand
be
new tree
easier
that was
to get
planted
those 2
years ago.
trees approved and call Greg Martell and be like, hey, we wanna plug these 2 trees in. He'd be like, okay, or let's go and spend 6 months trying to get a hold of US Bank.
Well, okay,
I
those
see.
two trees there,
Firehouse.
the
I don't know
You
who
want a
owns that
picture?
building.
Dan.
You,
owns that
let's
too.
light that tree.
Those are
Let's just start going down the street.
Okay, the one, so 2 in front of like, embroidered occasion and such. You'd have, bring power from underneath, I believe. I don't think there's any way to power them from above.
Yeah,
We
we'd
have
have
a long extension cord.
a long extension cord, and I don't know if you all want that looking. We might look at that carefully, so over the top.
I think the first step though is if you know the owner, reach out to the owner, get them on an email with this assistant city manager. And the assistant city manager can describe to them what the process is. Let's first see if they're interested.
Dan's
So-
interested,
So is Greg.
and so
So
is
if-
Greg.
They already are.
Okay, well, let's get them on an email with everyone, so
We
the
both
city
can
manager
copy.
can talk to them. And then we can work through it.
Okay, I just don't want this to take 6 months. I think this can be done like by the holidays. if
Well,
we
send them
got
an
it right.
email today.
Okay,
The only thing I have on the trees is we have additional strands. So I would suggest that we put those strands that we do have up in the trees at the Lemke building. add a few more strands.
Which one's the Lemke bill? Is that the one in front of your office, Bill?
Oh, no pizza.
Oh,
No, O&O Pizza, you have strands in there, but it seems like the last time we installed them, we put less lights up.
So we didn't put the ones at O&O Pizza. They did that themselves.
No, the city,
Those are ours.
Public Works put those up.
We put those up in front of O&O?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Before I got here, okay.
yeah, before you got.
Yeah,
They've been
that's
there
the
forever.
Okay. You
Then
want
your
more of that?
decision, we usually take them down, but we made a decision to keep them up year round. But they did not put, I guarantee there's not as many lights in those trees as there used to be.
So how are those lit up? Is there a conduit that goes under, or is there like,
It's close enough to the building
It's connected to Lemke's.
right there.
got it?
And that's how we're doing it right now, because we don't have power source to any of the power poles, which I do have an electrician that's supposed to reach out to the city manager and see if there's some options there, but they have not reached out to the assistant city manager yet. And so we can't do anything until we actually know pricing. And Stribe has not given us a price yet, I'm guessing yet either.
No, and just to be blunt, we have, with Old Orchard stuff, we've moved off of Stripe. So when we bid these other 3 buildings, we'll use some other companies as well for bidding on estimation. So, I
Okay,
mean, we'll still ask Stripe and, get a competitive quote for them, but.
Right, I understand. So I guess I'm of the opinion that we have Dan here. If we're gonna pick and we want to make a decision, we can make a decision pretty quickly. You put somehow power there somewhere, I'm sure.
Well, I don't think on the firehouse, there's an outside outlet,
Okay,
but I'd be in favor of doing that, because I think that would look fantastic. Lighting Lockwood up
and
further
it's a
down.
bigger tree.
You can put a lot of lights there.
Put more lights. And it's and going back to Bill's thing about adding more lights to the Lemke building. I think we went a little heavy on the lights in front of the florist. And so that's what makes those other trees not look as good, I think. So I would be of the opinion to not make them super sparse, but put a little bit fewer lights and a couple more trees and make 1 or 2 trees just explode with, light. That's my opinion. So does anyone have any thoughts on that?
The lighter, the brighter, the better for me, just because
Okay.
I feel like the district is so dark and safety is a huge issue, right?
I just feel like the strands are not that expensive and that we have them and they're just sitting in a storage.
Right, I don't disagree with that, but.
So I feel like we should get them out, get them up, and then if
We
we
have
can
to
use
buy
them,
more.
if we can use them on the building that Dan owns, let's move forward, but we don't have an electrician right now for that.
And do you have an electrician for that, you said?
No, Strive is who I've used in the past.
I'm gonna look at my phone. I have somebody that had reached out to me. Let me see if I can find their name again.
All right, so we need to make a decision on tree lighting, or we're gonna do San Jose. We need to vote on that, I guess.
At least give me direction.
And yeah, I understand, yeah, so is anybody who's all in favor of, can I even do this? I guess I can.
Yes.
All in favor of lighting up the San Jose?
I'll make it even better. All in favor of lighting any tree that's possible to be lit. Let's light them up.
Okay, and I don't know exactly how many lights we have, but I guarantee you, we go light up the San Jose building, and Dan's building. Those are big trees. I mean, they're gonna take more lights than the smaller trees, and so I don't know how many lights we have, but that may start going through them quicker than we think.
Well,
And
okay,
then just for immediate purposes, like, let's get those done quickly and then for the holiday season possibly, and then we'll.
let's light as many as we can until we run out of lights.
Okay.
I motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed, I'm sorry.
So it sounds like we're gonna do,
Aye.
we're gonna do San Jose almost immediately because we have electric there, probably Public Works and get them in, even if San Jose has to turn them on or off, let's get them installed. And then we can always work through dusk to dawn later. And then, Dan, are you the owner of that building?
Yes,
I think Dan will figure out how to get those lights turned on every night after we get the lights installed.
yes, I would.
He's a pretty good property owner, so.
Thanks.
We got that, and then the other one though, Dan, if you can find an electrician that will give you a bid on your own building. That way we can get back to us, or you've already been given the okay with the assistant city manager's approval of the bid.
I'll do that.
Because
That's
we'd like to have those up by Thanksgiving.
I agree.
Um,
Christmas open house would be.
Yeah,
the first
November
one.
November
pretty close.
13th is when we have the district ready for Christmas as a game plan.
Why did Tribe fall off the good list?
They're not off the good list. They just have not been
Responsive.
responsive to the request.
And that's Old Orchard and us both.
Exactly.
I
My
mean,
question
it's
is, why
constantly-
do we
A lot of
have
the problems why it takes these
Wouldn't
things projects so long, it's. I think they get back with us as soon as they are out of things to do, in my opinion, is what it seems like. If they don't, and don't get me wrong, this is not probably the best paying electric job in the world either, and so.
I just want to say, we've not stopped them. We've now added other people into we call and see, can we get you? Because also there's an immediacy issue. We all want our stuff turned on, right? And we're waiting 4 or 5 weeks for responses.
Okay, all right. Parking update. 15-minute on-street parking spots.
Yes, so I'm gonna put this up on the screen. We have, this is gonna go out as soon as we're done here, so this is our chance to read. So I'll scroll down with you all. This is the email from the city. We have removed any reference to signage and the issues that we talked about last month. Gone round with the city attorney. And so we are just simply saying, don't mark this, essentially what this says, don't mark the spots. We're gonna enforce that. We're going to be nice about it, but then if you are repeating or have severe violations, we will use citation power.
Okay.
The thing that I do want to point out, I know it's an email that will go out to all the businesses, everyone, not just your district, across the city, citywide. There are folks that have asked, well, we want to talk to city council about changing that policy. So we included that, so just be aware that there may be requests that come in. And we certainly will talk with you all if they do affect the district, if those requests.
So
Which
the-
is fair. I feel like that's fair if they wanna work on changing the spots, right? They
I think there are people.
Everybody's
I
trying to.
have 3 spots in front of my store that's just for. the-
Right, yeah.
Council's going to make that policy.
What I'm saying what we talked about last time as far as having some designated spots throughout the district for that.
If they go to council. and
Yes,
they
which
do.
I feel like is very fair.
They have a right to do that.
Yeah,
But what he said, I have people, they order online now. I mean, we're selling a lot online for this store.
yeah,
I mean, every 15 minutes, somebody walks in to
Yeah.
pick something up from my store.
Yeah.
I know that's more than what's going on at certain restaurant that has cones and 3 spots that
right.
are in front of theirs. If I took up 3 spots with cones, and maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow when it's sunny again, I will put cones out and rope it off and let know for Zoe's Attic pickup only. I mean, but they've got a right to do it, but
No, they don't have a right to.
no,
do
they
that.
have a right to go to council.
Yeah, but I'm not saying they have the right to go to council to ask for the 3 spots in front of their business. I'm talking about designated pickup spots through the district. That's a difference.
Right, but
Yeah.
We've had though.
yeah, we did this.
No, I'm talking about something completely different. You have to leave Webster to see what I'm talking about. If you go into different districts, there are signs that say that have numbers on them. Like if you go into places that have like, I think Colonial Marketplace might have it in Clayton, where there's a whole bunch of different, like there's a few different restaurants, there's a few different retailers. They have these numbered spots that you can call the restaurant and say which spot you're in. It doesn't matter which restaurant you're calling, it's still a designated pickup spot. That's what I'm talking about.
Right,
That's different.
Well,
And
Yeah.
that's what they need to go to council and ask for.
they can go and ask whatever they
But
want.
you can ask for it too. We all can ask for
Right,
it,
and
is what I mean.
but they can go after 3 spots in front of their store too, if they want. They can ask, they're not gonna get it,
Oh,
but they can
yeah,
ask.
no, I know. I'm
Yeah.
just saying it doesn't need to be so.
Well, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, we have had problems enough with
Mhm.
parking in the district, so,
Yeah,
I mean.
Yeah.
This letter just needs to go out as quick as possible, basically.
okay,
You're the last look at it, so it's going out,
okay.
if you're all good with it, so,
I'm good.
so. Are we good, sir?
I think it would be helpful though to maybe come up with some solution for them too. I mean, for all of us, for pickups. Instead of just like shutting down a pickup zone, like if we could approve like a few spots in every area that are pickup spots.
I suggested that the 15-minute spots be actually numbered or lettered.
Yeah,
And you can say, come by today after 3 o'clock, it'll be ready, and our pickup spot is B or Z.
yeah, but it doesn't even have to be like that. It can just have a number on it that says Webster pickup spot or whatever, and the restaurants or the retailers can say, pick one of those spots, call in and tell me which spot you're at. I'll run it out to you.
Well, there's one by your store. You want to say, go to A, go to
Yeah.
C.
Or like, yeah, go to, here are the 3 you can go
That's the
to.
one that will deliver your.
Yeah,
product.
it would be super simple. I mean, I know I'm gonna probably want some, I mean, it'd be great to have something like that once I move and there's not as much parking that I have now. So I'm not opposed to something like that. I think it's worth talking about in the future. It might be nice to meet everybody in the middle. You know what I mean? I agree. I think that I feel a lot of hate coming from you right now, and it's making me feel really uncomfortable.
It's just funny.
Just trying to give some type of like meet in the middle that works for everybody, and
It's just funny, this is coming from you for all the fighting that you've done for parking over the
Well,
years.
haven't thought about parking. You
Do
think
we need more parking?
that we need more parking?
Yeah.
I mean, we do need more parking, but I'm not like aggressively gonna do a stair count right now.
I mean, you get scared now.
But that's okay. Let's just move on.
But we have the 15-minute spots already, and you
Yeah.
can use those also as pickup.
Yeah, I think that would be
You're not
awesome.
really changing any of the parking currently.
Mm-hmm.
You're just identifying the 15-minute spots as additional
Mhm.
customer pickup locations when bring to your car. And there's still, it's probably less than 15 minutes that people be using that as a customer pickup spot.
Right. And the, probably need to designate a 15-minute parking spot down by.
Your building is what you're.
Not so, yeah, but also the, Olive and Oak and,
Clover.
no, Crandall,
By Stroud.
by Stroud, it's a crushing
And
Stroud.
and convert the 3 that they're using with cones now to 1 15-minute.
There, that's really, so like the Panera issue isn't so much that they're blocking other people from parking there. There's no curb. That's a signage issue, right? They are now putting temporary signs out on the
Mhm.
sidewalk. So there's a whole separate ordinance there. It's not a parking issue, it's a signage issue of,
Mhm.
of that. So,
Yeah.
so there's multiple different layers to that. So.
Yeah,
I
and there's
think
multiple
it's-
different
I think
restaurants
the
too.
businesses have the right, go before council
Yeah,
and try to get what they want. And then, and we'll address it. I don't think it's okay for a business to block out 3 spots in front of their place
I'm not saying
And-
that.
and have no parking for anybody else, and those spots are unused all night.
Yes.
I mean, I sit there and watch, and they're just like, everybody's going
Yeah.
in and out. It's just a big open space. in
Are we
front of their
talking about-
building where they have outdoor dining on the sidewalks.
Yeah,
Yeah, so.
And bread company.
Amber,
well, great, tell me, but. Nobody, even though they're designated, I don't think anybody really pays attention
I think
to.
some people do, but you're right. They're not like a cone. The cone is preventing that.
Right.
Right.
More so
Yeah.
physically.
oh, I've started ignoring Breadco completely.
absolutely.
There's nothing there that, I mean,
Yeah.
Right. So then we've agreed the businesses have the right to come and do what they want to
They
do,
can-
and that's how it's gonna go. Letters out
they can
there.
ask council for anything they want. I mean, there's Nothing
So
to
if
stop
we
them.
decided to do this like pickup sign thing down the road, is that go through us or is that something that has to go through
So
council?
we would want to designate those, just like 15-minute parking spaces are by ordinance as well. So we would want to create a program. So if that's something you're interested in, we talk about what the policy wants to look like. We draft it for you to look at. Is this what you're intending? And then if you're intending that, we can take it to council. Council likes it when it comes with your endorsement, right? If this is what Old Webster wants, that's great. We know what the business district wants. I would guess, and I can't guarantee it, but I would guess if a council member gets requests from a business, it's gonna get, this group is going to be asked.
When we put in the initial ones. We initiated that, correct?
Right, and you can do that.
Right, we did, and we went too. But this is a restaurant thing, so this is gonna go a little opposite, where I would think they would go there and then they would come back to us and ask us our opinion.
Yeah, so, and that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
council is likely to come back and say, what's the business district want?
Right.
Because from the eyes of council, the business district is not just a retail district, it is every business in there. So I mean, that's, this group is meant to,
Retail believes that too. We need
Yeah,
restaurants there
exactly,
too.
absolutely. So, yeah, so I'm, now, I can't make that guarantee, right? Council can decide we're going forward, right? And we deal with all that, but that is generally the practice that we have sought the input of the districts that would be affected. Welcome to the last 6 months dealing with parking, folks.
Okay.
30 years. Yeah, I know, right?
Does that cover?
So the back, just moving on, back patio parking, that covers the street parking. Back patio parking, I meet with Mark Hinkle next week to talk about Olive and Oak. So as you know, there's no lease that was given for that. That was just with
Right.
COVID. So we're gonna talk about what the future is. And again, we have not made any kind of provisions in city policy for leasing of said type of spaces. So,
Right.
if they want to propose that or look at that, what's that look like and such. So.
I've been paying a lot more attention to it since our last meeting. There are people who do use it.
Yeah, I was gonna
You know what I'm
call
saying?
it.
I've been noticing, especially on Saturdays and Sunday mornings, there are people out there eating and people are serving food and everything. And I think when it gets addressed, I think it just needs to be said, hey, we're cool with this now. But when the employee parking lot fills up, if it does again ever,
Right.
Then as of right now, it's not a problem, and
Are they taking employee parking?
no, they're taking up.
Okay, but don't you think that that's a little contradictory of us to sit
Probably
there?
is a little.
Yeah, we gotta be hands off of that. Mark has to deal with that. I don't think that has anything with us. I don't feel comfortable being in the middle of that.
Well, that parking lot is owned by US Bank and lease, and the city kind of leases those spots
Or public parking.
for public.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable getting in the middle at all.
I'm with Stace on that.
I don't think we can tell one restaurant that they can't park in front. We can't save spots for them, but then we let another restaurant have patio seating. I think if Mark wants to fight for that for his business, let it.
Okay,
I don't
who
feel
does he
comfortable having this.
Fight with though, does he fight with us in the city? and
No,
this-
not fight, I mean fight for, like,
Right. If
bring
it-
it to everybody's attention,
Well, or if this city is actually leasing those spots and he is now taking those.
That's
that's
no
his-
different.
It's no different. It's no different than the three
Yeah.
spots in front of Panera or,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a completely not, we can't, I don't think we have anything to do with that. Because we're not trying to upset them. I'm not trying to upset Parkmore. I'm not trying to upset anybody. If these people feel like they need that for their business, if they feel like they need to go to city council and handle their business, then that's what they need to do. I'm not gonna play God for them. With this,
Moody employee lot update.
So our lease with the Moody employee lot, I know I'm pulling y'all around on the, I think everyone knows where this is at, but I'll just take you there real quick. So this is, Llewellyn's right there. Presbyterian main parking lot on Moody. This lot right here, the city has leased. That lease is up in November. The terms of that lease, when we began, was the city paid for the reconstruction. So the city paid for all that concrete
Right.
to be able to get the spaces. We are now approaching, and I will meet with Presbyterians later today. renegotiating the extension of that lease, which I imagine is going to involve a financial consideration.
Right.
Not just reconstruction and maintenance, but some sum of money like we pay to the Congregational Church. So I am, I think I know the answer, but I have to ask, do you all still desire from a business district to have this lot and to be able to utilize it?
That has helped so much
Yeah.
for us over there. I mean, is it business? I mean, that has helped so much.
Yeah.
Except for how much it costs and where are you gonna get that money from? As
Well-
our funds dwindle down, we're
Hopefully,
pay a heck of a lot of money for the spots already. So it's something that you can't just start writing checks every day and just throwing them out there and. So that's the thing. I mean, it
Yeah,
depends
so,
on the
and we
price.
don't know the terms yet, and
Right.
so, we certainly, Councilmember Smith will be involved, obviously, the lease rolls through the city. And we'll find that out, what their considerations are. I will, out of good fiduciary interest, ask if they're interested in selling, what their interest is long-term in the lot, just so we know, so you're all aware. And then obviously, there is a development coming up on this side, so I mean, that may increase parking pressure on the use of this lot as well. I don't know who's all in the 55 Moody spots right now, if that's been general parkers behind the old
I have
ATM
a
building.
question. Can we, when people renew their business tax license or renew their business license, can we ask in that business license how many employees there are? And there is a fee charge per employee. I mean, it doesn't have to be a big fee, but per employee to help compensate some of this parking. Because some people have 2 employees and some people have 50 employees. And I think that if we have a $10 fee per employee, that we would be able to come up with the money for this parking.
It's a lot more than.
Some of those employees are already buying permits from the city.
Well, that's a separate thing.
Well.
This
I
is
mean,
like within your business license.
but
like an
I'm
additional-
saying they're already paying probably for a permit, maybe 25% of the business.
Well, then maybe that's asked on the thing, that do you already pay for a permit? If
And
you
if
pay
you
for a
don't-
permit, then it's waived. If you don't, it's $10 an employee.
So the answer is, I don't believe that there's anything legally that would prevent us, other than we would need to change the ordinance that
Uh-huh.
assesses business licenses. You're really talking like an impact fee. Number of employees you bring in therefore provides an impact, and so you're gonna mitigate that impact.
Correct.
And such. I don't know of anything top of my head that would prevent that, other than, people push back on it. We do have a number of permits. You think of Novus, Farnsworth, I'm trying to think of that buy the bulk of permits, I mean, they buy 30.
Yeah, so they would be
25, 30.
waived because they get.
Certainly,
they get
right,
permits.
and those folks are, generally near the bigger buildings. and
Yeah, so
such.
if you're not getting permits, you pay this way.
We certainly could. There are disparate actions at the city right now. Business licenses are, like the April period,
Yeah.
and business and parking permits are October. So what we can link that data in somewhere. So it's conceivable. I
Yeah.
haven't looked into how it worked in that, if you want to have a look into that, we can look into that.
Do
So,
we need to vote on that?
no, you're not at anything
Okay.
official yet. It was really, you want to look at that. We can map out both processes and then see how we get in.
Yeah, there's already on the questionnaire on the business license, it does say how many employees do you have.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
That's one of the questions.
Yeah, I think that would
So
help.
you could already deduct how many people,
Employees
well,
are already-
how much money that is, and then you can maybe just take the number of employees minus the amount of permits, and you can find out how much money that's gonna be.
Generate for us to see if it helps pay for some of this. It's time.
This would probably need to be done sooner rather than later, because the new permits for next year are going to be out
Get it over to him.
before we blink. It's gonna be the holidays, and all of a
It's not gonna
sudden,
affect the
But
permits
this is separate
whatsoever.
from a permit. This is
She's
if your
talking about the
business,
business license.
if your
I'm
business
sorry.
doesn't get.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I meant
January.
to say business license. So those are gonna be
December
due,
31st, yeah.
right, they're gonna be due,
That's
so that needs to be on there so it can be collected, which means the ordinance needs to be changed.
ASAP.
So is it something that we could vote on right now? So that council could look at it and
Quickly.
possibly change the ordinance, so we could have for next year.
Push it
So
through.
you can vote on it in concept and say to me, go write that language that fits that and send it up to council and say,
I think that's what we should do to get this rolling.
Yeah, I do too.
You think it could still be done before the end of December?
I think we tried.
So it can be
I don't know
implemented.
the downside.
If we have the language in, you use the 2 meetings in December, the ordinance takes 2 meetings, you can have it implemented by the end of December, as long as in November, we have the language perfected and into the council, so. Oh, I will turn it back to you.
I mean, it also pushes people to not drive their vehicles. Well, I guess.
Well,
we're
that's
paying
not
for
gonna
it.
affect at all. My guys
No.
who ride bikes in aren't gonna,
Yeah.
that's not gonna affect them. That's gonna
Yeah,
extra fee. My $70
yeah,
isn't gonna break me, you
no,
know, so. but-
yeah.
I mean, that lot really, I mean, that really changed things
For
on
you.
our side. I mean, and that's gotta go for San Jose, and that's gotta go for all those businesses that are over there. I mean, it has to,
Mhm.
because I don't have nearly as much problem anymore with anything or seeing open parking spots, most of the day over there now, like we did before.
Okay, here's my other question. Is the Webster Press parking lot, the main one across from you, me, all of us. What's the deal with that? So they don't let people park there? I've never followed it very closely.
The city has no relationship with them in use of that lot officially, right? It's
Okay.
not a lease, so they are a private lot, no different than the front part of Congregational Church.
And we've tried to go after it before and it just didn't work.
They have events, they have big churches, they have funerals, weddings,
Okay.
yeah. They're an awesome neighbor. They could not be more accommodating.
Okay.
But you don't, they ask not to park there certain days. They send out emails to all of us
Oh,
locally
that's great.
that says, hey, we're having this event, please don't use our lot today. And so they are fantastic people. I wouldn't wanna, I wanna rock the boat with them in any way. I would love for them to sell that lot to the city and the city.
We're talking about the Moody lot.
Moody lot, they could sell it to the city and wouldn't affect our budget as much as far as renting it goes. And then the city could maybe rent it to them for $1, something ridiculously low because they only use it on Sundays.
And funerals.
Right, or whatever events, and those are just things that, and it's worked out fantastic over the last 4 or 5 years. There's less traffic than there was, 5 years ago too, the employee lot's not nearly full ever, although it's getting more full, but it's still not anything close to, it used to be, you couldn't get a spot in there sometimes. So I guess we're interested in whatever you find out.
Yeah, I mean,
No
we'll
idea,
we'll know the terms and, hear from them later today. So we'll keep you updated and know
Yeah.
what they're looking at.
If we have to schedule an unscheduled meeting to get this through, we will do this. Should we all agree on that?
I mean, unless there's, you're talking about the lease or the financing?
The
op-
financial operation.
The financing side, we can schedule that. The lease side, I mean, the reality from Old Webster is you want to do that. Obviously, we'll keep you want the parking spaces. We'll keep you abreast of the financials and such, but we can, if we come to a favorable set of terms, we can put that in the council hopper and still keep you all updated on what it's going to look like. So, and there's, the city, it's not strictly an Old Webster expense necessarily. Like we can split that across, so we can figure out what's the best way to make it affordable, both for the district fund and also for the city's general purpose. I mean, there are, much as it says employees, trust me, there are just regular visitors who pull in and park there too. So.
Right.
I
Okay.
have a
so-
question. If the employee lot is no longer designated as an employee parking lot, then will there be any areas, and we would love to get permits, but we haven't been able to get parking permits. Will there be an area where you can park for longer than 3 hours without getting a ticket?
Well, wait a minute, there's nobody talking about eliminating the employee parking lot.
Okay,
Yeah, no.
That
So,
was not discussed at all.
okay.
The employee lot of the Congregational Church employee lot, that's not being talked about at all.
Okay.
The lease is coming up on the employee parking lot. We are trying to figure out how we're gonna afford to renew the lease.
Okay.
There is another employee parking lot. I think I don't think, you probably don't even know there's another employee parking lot by Ono Pizza and by these guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, we're aware of both.
Okay, so that's where everybody used to have to park. Now, that's lightened up, I mean, obviously less people out there, but because we did negotiate this for that lot, this lease that's coming back up. We want to get that back, or else everybody's gonna be back over there, and it's gonna be,
Harder to park.
yes.
So we're trying to
Okay.
figure out a means to be able to afford this. And so we're trying to come up with a solution to get money for this.
Oh my goodness. Sorry about the cat.
Adds character.
Okay, so somebody needs to make a motion to vote on if we want to make every business and the amount of employees they have pay a $10 fee in their business license to help support parking.
Is it $10 or do we want to wait
I
and
think
see
you
what?
need to know more information, because $10 might be a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's no sense in adding a fee on if we don't think it's gonna help.
It might also be way too much.
Research, we need to do some research first.
It might be way too much.
I think we should negotiate with the church, see where we're at, and then from there, we'll know what we need more. We might,
Yeah, but it might be nice to have some extra funds from that, so as other lots become available, we have the money already, we don't have to increase this, again, for.
I don't wanna put a burden on the businesses if we don't have to, because the business license is already a burden on businesses, and you don't wanna increase that if you don't have to increase that. If there isn't a direct reason, and I think we'll know that after we hear the negotiation with the church.
Okay.
That's where we are.
Is that, so what are we voting on?
We're
Nothing.
not voting on anything.
I think we should wait and hear from Eric how the
We
negotiation.
can have a special meeting if we need to come back
Okay.
and discuss,
I just don't want this to
It
be,
it is likely if we're in negotiations that what you'll see, just so everyone's aware on the agenda, is a move to go into executive session if I have to reveal some of the negotiations before it's finalized. The executive session, so you all know what that means, is just simply close the public, we stop recording. And then the things that are said, because we're talking about negotiations, are not to leave the room, you know what I mean? So council does it all the time. You probably have not experienced
We
that.
should do every meeting that way.
No. We can.
Okay,
I can rattle through a couple of these real quick if you want, Mr. Chair.
go ahead.
So Public Works is getting the 2-hour decorative parking sign inventory and also quotes for replacement and also just what normal 2-hour parking signs would cost.
Okay.
So for those, since they're all fading.
Great.
Recycle bin signage update. We've ordered a sign. Meaning Public Works is making a sign that says break down boxes and no trash.
Perfect, love it.
Okay, so Parks Department is providing a whole inventory of their services. They had planned some changes already, so this gets to the pots. And we have obviously in this budget ordered hanging baskets for the poles, a certain number of them. If you remember, we had put in this budget. So those are, yes, we
Yes.
did. We decided on not in the core, but on the edges. The
Okay,
poles.
I got you. Okay,
So,
got it. Yeah, I do remember.
So they are doing a whole service inventory. And also I just wanted to highlight the trash bins that we had ordered in the 21 budget have all finally arrived and are out. We have taken out a bunch of the old the concrete looking ones. And so everything in the core of the district should be metal. Story 7, we are looking at getting one more and pulling it from another location where we're not seeing usage because there's no trash can north of the tracks.
Okay,
So to move something up in that way with increased foot traffic. So, and then in relation to the holiday open house, I'm not talking about your open house, but the week right after Halloween, all the Christmas, holiday decorations will go up. Public Works has got that. As of yesterday, last night at 4:30, the new stuff we ordered in March hadn't arrived. So that's how much of a backlog we're seeing. If it comes in before then, we'll put it up. If it comes in while things are up, they will come in and take the old stuff up and put the new stuff. They'll make a switch. So as soon as we get it, we will put up all the new stuff that we ordered.
I have a couple things on that. So if all the trash cans are out, that means we need more trash cans. So we need to purchase more trash cans at some point. There are no trash cans across or on the western side of the district, up by the senior living. there's a long stretch on the southern side of the street, almost all the way down to the hair salon, that there's no trash cans. And then if there's no trash cans north of Gore, that means we need at least 2 or 3 more trash cans.
There was a trash can there, I know, and I know that one of the restaurants moved it.
Where?
Bottom line is, we
Where?
don't have enough, so I suggest we order at least 2 or 3 more, because one of them will be broken by the time that year rolls around.
I think we would have to save this till budget time because those were
Yeah.
very expensive.
Right.
I mean, this is a February conversation. This isn't
Got
one that we can.
Well, if you
Yeah.
desperately need one, there's 2 on the sidewalk in front of Old Reliable Life Building, but then we also have our own trash cans. And I think if you move the one from in front of Froyo or and move that one into the center, then that's less likely to fill up, and then Froyo's actual trash can will fill up.
That's, we'll talk about it in February, that's fine, but.
Oh, wait, I mean, if you need
I'm
a
gonna ask for,
trash
like-
can, take this and move it. Okay.
But Eric, as long as you know, we're gonna be asking
Yeah.
some trash. The other thing is, the people that pick up the trash cans, I think it's Midwest Waste. We need to have a conversation with them if we're moving trash cans, that they know where they are.
It's waste
Yeah,
management.
waste management.
Waste
Yeah,
management.
so there is a GIS map of all the trash cans and such, so they are mapped and that they are provided that map whenever we make a change, so. I
Okay,
didn't know we even provided the map until this last time when I saw Public Works copy me, so they do get a copy of the map. Now, there have been plenty of trash cans not picked up along the way, even though they're on the map, so we have.
Do we have any answer why that is? I mean, the one in front of ours, and I think Joe brought this up, that they just have not been emptying trash cans. I mean, I walked into my store yesterday and it was actually empty. And I mean, I actually noticed it because whether it wasn't trash falling off of it. I mean, that's how rare these things are
Yeah, no,
getting
I,
emptied. We don't.
they have not provided any answers that when we harp about it, they'll go take care of it, they say. And we usually harp about it. We usually harp about it twice. So I'm assuming labor shortage is part of that. We had the same issue with the dumpsters for the Jazz Fest. They sat out there for 4 weeks. So they got just barely taken out.
My own
before.
dumpster, same problem with recycling dumpster that doesn't get picked up
Yeah.
until somebody goes and calls on it.
what is the
nobody gives
process
a
on that? Are we supposed to reach out to you, Eric, or we?
Yeah, if you reach out to me, I just direct it right over to Public Works and, it's essentially between me and Public Works now. We've become the trash complainers, so.
No.
That's, which is fine, no, I don't mind that, so, so just let me know if there's an issue with those and we'll, we get on it right away.
I mean, guys had lots of problems in my house, especially lately, but they finally stopped saying the line that I can't stand, which when they used to miss it on Friday. Oh, let's do the line, we'll do a courtesy pickup. No, you're not doing a courtesy pickup. I pay you to pick up my trash. There's nothing courtesy about this.
A couple other issues in the district is that at the end of September, and I talked to one of the workers, is along the sidewalks, there was quite a bit of crabgrass growing. And that's something I had not noticed in the past. So if we could just try to look at it for now for spraying it and then getting it cleaned up if we have the staff and the time. And then definitely for next year, August, September, the weeds are growing up through the sidewalks, which is something I've never really noticed in a bad way previously. That's one. And then on the 2-hour signs, those signs were made by Wehrmeyer Creative and I think Grafika. And they do have a distinctive look. So if we're going to be changing them, we need to make sure we're approving the artwork prior to making them.
Yeah.
But they were pretty expensive, is what I remember.
And that's what he's getting a bid for.
Yeah, so we're getting that, the inventory and the bid, and if you want them, or do you want to go to normal, I'll just use that, or if there are other options you want us to bid, so, yes.
Perfect.
They're obviously fading in such a way that many of them are becoming to the point where we need some replacement.
I do believe I still have the art for those signs.
Oh, you make my day.
Now,
Because I mean, if we
access
can do a less expensive
Cypress
option, I'm
is-
all for it, but we're probably gonna have to replace.
Oh my
all of
gosh,
them at the
stop.
same time. And I want to say something positive.
I'm sorry, too.
The banners, I really like the banners. So they look great, I think.
Okay, holiday open house update.
Comment,
Stanley.
13th, correct?
yep.
Yes. All right, BDC update.
Workinwebstergroves.com continues the job board, so we will start some digital advertising this week out into the community for job seekers, but we have over, I think this morning I got 3 more, so we're close to 30, if not over, jobs just on free word of mouth, email to the district. I think to the businesses, postcards should be hitting at businesses this week so Jenny Starkey was out last week with illness, so she didn't have that done. So you all should be getting a postcard at your business as well. And we do have a bunch of little bookmark type leave behinds that we're going to be walking. Jenny or I'll just be making our way through the main retail cores if you're willing to put by registers and such that people can pick up, or and then we're also going to be talking to the restaurants about just throwing one in their the checkbook, when they bring you your check, just a leave behind that people could take if they take it or not, just to help spread words about the availability of the job board.
City update.
Wait, anything about the QR code from BBC?
We haven't gotten any further, so
Oh, okay.
no further update. They meet Thursday, so.
Oh, good, okay, well, Tim, will you say something? Okay, thank you.
City update.
City update, I'll turn to Councilmember Smith here briefly, just letting you all know we've pulled sales tax data from what is our fiscal year 2022. So that's July 1 of 21 through the end of June 22. So we have access to all the sales tax paid across the district. Council has asked me, what sectors, types of stores, pay in the most sales tax, meaning collect from transactions. So we'll have that data. We'll provide it to council. We'll also provide it to all of you, just so you're aware why it's not your individual data. We're required not to release any of that, but by sector. So we can say, general retail, restaurant, things like that, by using your NAICS code, sort of give a sense of where sales tax is coming from within Webster. So. And I'll turn to Councilmember Smith.
Yeah, thank you. I have 3 updates and just 1 comment. The council, we have started our strategic planning. We're going to have our second strategic planning meeting on November the 5th. And our goals is to complete a new vision, new mission, the core values, and goals for the city. So we're moving at a good pace and good participation. So we should have that, well, I would say somewhere in January or February, have that task done. Also, the council, we have a subcommittee. I'm on that committee on the boards and commissions, just trying to solidify, make it easier for onboarding for new members on the board and commission, so they receive the same information from each board and commission. So we're working on that. The Charter Advisory Board had its second meeting on last night. They're in a organization phase, so I believe they're going to start looking at the charter on their next meeting. So that's moving pretty good. My comment is that listening to you guys talk about the parking situations and all the changes you'd like to see made, I'm going to recommend that maybe you guys look at a parking strategy, because what can happen with me looking at it, we'll wait for those businesses, you said, to come and make a special plea to the council. If the council make a change, it has come back to you. So it appears that, in my opinion, a parking strategy would be great, just so we know on a large scale what we're trying to achieve with when it comes back to the council. Because if ABC company come back and ask for specific parking or have a special parking problem, at least we have some type of structured document that we can use as a guide. Although it always probably come back to you, but at least we have something structured and something in place.
Can I make a comment to that or ask a question to that?
Yeah.
I'm completely for that, and that seems very logical. But I think what needs to happen, if the restaurants aren't going to you, the restaurants need to come to us for us to get what they want to put the strategy together, because we don't have any restaurant owners in here to talk about it. So it would be kind of hard for us to put the strategy together. So I think we all would be happy to do it, but they need to come to us. So if they come to council, maybe you just refer them to us and we can work with them and then put your strategy together.
Yeah, by all means, that's at least that's something down on paper. If they come, they need something from the council. Okay, you need to go to the or Webster Special District Board and they'll submit it to us. At least they have direction on which way to go.
Mhm.
Anything else, Councilmember Smith?
Otherwise, that's it.
My only last quick update is I'm gonna steal Ron for 2 seconds after this because the council has asked for every district to give, every board and commission to give a little 10-minute update sometime this coming year about activities and such. So Ron and I are gonna get that scheduled. So it'll be at a council work session.
I have, just before we adjourn, I am super concerned about security in the district. And I don't know if it's for us to help with that, but I think we need to have a higher police presence within the district.
So has there been an incident?
Yeah, on Sunday, a car was stolen in front of O&O. A car pulled up, they hopped in and they drove through the neighborhood going like 90 miles per hour.
So it was,
And that's just one
They
incident.
were unloading, had the hatch open, unloading stuff at O&O, and so. Yeah, we have car thefts are just up in general, used car values, I mean.
Yeah, and what can we do? We have to be able to do something.
Well, so yeah, there are many different things. I won't speak to, I certainly will ask Chief Curtis if you want to talk to him about that. We'll have him come in and talk about how patrols work. It's not my expertise by any means. I'm not blaming in any way the victim in that case, but it is, you can't leave your car unattended. It takes 9 seconds. The video is 9 seconds. In the
Yes.
the residential car thefts are,
He does have a point, because if somebody gets robbed at gunpoint on the street, it's just gonna be out there. So they should park police cars, even if they're dummy police cars, in and around the district when they're not being used. And
Agreed.
we might want to be looking at it a little bit stronger in terms of we have panhandlers that come up and down the street. I've been here for over 25 years. They know that they can hit business to business to business because it's all straight line, and that is an issue. We might want to also look at security cameras. Those are not as a deterrent, but maybe they are if people know that they're there. But I definitely think we need to have police cars, at least if they're just the dummy cars, out in the district.
I don't disagree that there is a problem with car thefts right now, but when I read Webster Kirkwood Times, 90% of them leave the keys in the car. In order to keep the car running, they start the car up and then they go inside, they just leave it out front, unlocked and running. You're just an invitation. You're basically bringing people in to do that because people continue to do it. And I sometimes have not so much
Ron,
there.
Subway was broken into in the middle of the night.
Subway,
They broke through the front door,
okay.
kicked it in, and God, nobody was there. And robbed the business.
Yeah, it's
I
something we need to look at. It's
Yeah, I don't
definitely,
know. I'm just saying that seems like. an
No,
insight.
Webster, no, but it doesn't matter. We just need to have a heavier police presence to deter that. Right now, the districts are so dark at night. They know that our police officers are sleeping. There is not any security presence in our district at night.
I don't know that I can agree with that statement.
I mean, you can see, as me who goes to a restaurant every single night in Webster Groves, which I promise you I do. When I'm walking to my car, I don't see any type of security. I'm walking in the dark by myself.
there are a lot of walkers too, which means that everyone feels safe, which is great. But I do agree, we should have the chief look at it, and he should possibly beef up whatever his thoughts are. And he has ideas and he does them, and people come, you'll see cars parked out. Usually it's just you stick a police car out that's not being used in several parts of the district, and that's something they can do. I know they can do it. So we need to bring it to their attention.
Will do.
Okay, all right. So, and I don't want to bring up anything new, but it would be great if, police could just sit in front of my shop, not for speeders.
Oh, for speeders?
Speeders.
Oh, yeah,
That's- The speeding is, that's my problem that I have with the district. If I don't see any. We've never had a theft in our store. I mean, I've never had a just break my window, but recently, I mean, the people, they start at Gore. And they're going 45 by the time they get to my shop. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't even, and it's only 150-yard stretch
Yeah.
before the stoplight,
Yeah.
which I don't even,
I
so.
have the same thing in front of Paisley and like.
And that, so that would, I mean, so that would.
So
be
yes,
something that
yes.
Officer Rizzulo was gonna ask him today about it, but that would be one.
So there are, and there is, and traffic advisory commissions, it's a whole animal, but there is funds in the budget set aside for traffic calming and such, outside of just enforcement, right?
Right.
How do you design and engineer things in a way to help, slow traffic?
And it's something that Dave Smith brought up to me too. He's not here, of course, today, but he said to me, he sent me a personal note and said, hey. It's pretty bad over where he is, which is where you are,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it is
I
just.
think I hit the other day.
What,
Yeah,
in the street,
yeah,
crossing the street?
yeah,
The world's in a big damn hurry, so.
yeah.
some reason. I don't know what it is.
Shit.
And I'm not talking about the district, but I don't know how there are not kids hit daily
I
at the
know.
high school.
Oh.
I mean, I am now picking up at 3:25, so I'm sitting there watching. And I mean, it's not just kids,
Well,
it's adults. And I mean, these kids are just crossing the street where they're supposed to, doing everything. But I mean.
Yep.
I mean, I just don't know how you're driving that fast.
I just
with-
think we
with all
need a
these people
heavier
around.
police presence, and what we need to do to get a heavier police presence, please tell me, I will show up at every council meeting if I have to.
it's a matter of starting with the office. So, I mean,
Yeah.
before we can do that, I don't know the route patrols and how to explain it to you, so I can ask Chief Curtis or Captain Perks to come in and explain.
I mean, you can look at, let's just take Rock Hill for an example, over next to Tillis Park. If you speak, there's no cops there anymore, but.
There was.
There used to be, what was the cop officer? The famous guy. This is a big-
Ziegler.
And he was just like, and that's what, you just, and you just have to stick people out there for, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be forever. It's just a.
What's to make the news?
So
We're
there
giving
are,
out tickets
there are
left and right,
always
left and right.
24/7, there are 6 people on patrol always across the city of Webster. There's
Yeah.
And
never
again,
often.
again, targeting speeders.
Yeah,
Versus people with expired tags. Mark Hinkle and I had a meeting with Chief Curtis, who's a fantastic individual, about certain things, but it's really the speeders that's the most dangerous thing. And so that's what, we could address that just a little bit.
yeah, so how do we do that? You're gonna invite them to this meeting?
Invite them into the next meeting.
Okay, awesome.
Officer Rizzulo is usually here and he,
Right,
you know.
yeah, and he certainly-
Like, I haven't known him to miss a meeting in forever, but he just.
Well, we've had a little bit of school friends.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
So everyone's at school.
See, we just need heavier police presence all over the place.
St. Louis has the most police per capita in the nation.
Yeah,
Correct.
we need more. We need more.
So
What, you're talking about the city of St. Louis?
I'm just saying the fundamental theory of more police equals more safety is being challenged right next door, so.
No, I mean, it's.
We need some speed traps.
Schools and such, it's the parents that are worse than the students.
No, I agree. It's not kids
Absolutely.
flying up and down the street of my house in front of the business. It is adults.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
I mean,
adults, they're
it's
not
not kids
kids.
stealing the cars either, it's adults.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
well, no, it's kids, because
It's
kids
not
steal
an
the
adult
car
that jumped
and
in
they
the
can't get
car.
arrested. They know it.
Could be. Many of them are juveniles. I mean, literally the videos you see, they roll up in a car with 6 people in the car. That person drives off, 5 get out, and within 30 seconds, they have checked 5, 6 door handles and stolen cars. So that, I mean, it's that
And
quick.
Stephanie in Webster, her husband ran out the front door the other day and he got shot at.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, that's
smart
happening.
run.
What the fudge?
You call the police.
I mean, I'm really hoping that that person wasn't really shooting at the man, that was just shooting so that they could run. and they
It
would
was the
follow.
driver of the car that shot.
I know. I know, I hope they really weren't shooting at that person, they were just shooting to
Warning
scare
shot.
them.
Okay,
We can go to the next meeting, so.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right, so next meeting, can be on the 29th. We moved it, if everybody remembers, so
Yeah, I
it's
got
not the 4th Tuesday, it's the 5th Tuesday, so
Okay.
please remember that. And anybody have anything else? Meetings adjourned.
He's adjourned. Thank
You
you all.
guys, see everyone.
I gotta
thank you.